grandeur of older days. And we're with Raymond McCabe. We're shooting the breeze about the 6 generations of McCabes who have been in Newry from Belfast. Here, settled Newry people developed a wonderful business. And my recollection, and I'm going to ask you to talk me through it, down the yard, what was the moment you actually moved from the market? You came on by the train from Belfast, your great-grandfather, by the train from Belfast, then set up at the Newry Wall in the market. Then there was some point a move from the market to the yard in Mary Street.
I can't answer that, but Ron, I do know the yard was a forge, a blacksmith forge.
Really?
Yeah, and there was really no loft. I don't know if you can remember.
The loft was on the right-hand side as you came down, and you went up wooden steps.
Health and safety wouldn't have a look.
Wouldn't have it nowadays.
And my father then put a lean-to.
At the back of it, the very end of it.
A big old lean-to.
Yeah, and you were looking there.
With a bitumen roof, a tarred roof.
But you went in there, you could smell the tar, but suddenly you got the French polish and the beeswax and the shimmering surfaces that you still get today out on the Downshire Road.
Yeah, very much so. Well, we actually used, I suppose them days you did everything in the one, with the potbelly stove in the middle of the old yard. People would come in and talk around it, and the polisher would be there polishing. It's the only place to get heat from. And that's where you got the smell of the old waxes and so on.
My God. This is, do you know that until, you had 2 wooden gates at the front of the yard, and until 10 years ago,
the vandal,
the initials RH were there and dotted around. There I was on your gate. I must have done it when I was 10 or 11, for goodness sake. I was there, and there were cobblestones. In front of the gate entrance. And when I saw them when you left Mary Street to go to the Downshire Road. How long ago was that now?
We probably on the Downshire Road now 30 years.
My goodness.
The big reason for moving was transport, parking.
Yeah.
And I suppose when we moved out to the Downshire Road, we're probably the last property before you hit the Belfast Road.
Yes.
We moved out, the town really finished around Newry Town Hall of Sugar Island. Yes. That's where it stopped. And people then thought, what are you going away out there for? Now, when you look at Newry, the town's passed us by a mile.
It's kind of the right place to be now, because, you know, if you think about the crowds or the hordes who are coming to the Tesco place there, they look, oh, look, there's that place. And then there's the gentleman beside you who does the curtains and all sorts of. Rayfield is there.
The restaurant.
As well, and the restaurant is there. So it's become a little enclave of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've a vet to one side as well. So the town, I suppose, moving out that way, the town's moving everywhere, from the Dublin Road to the Warrenpoint Road. Right. But there's probably progress. We had to move out. Yeah. And the yard just wasn't getting big enough. But the yard was great days in the yard. Oh. Great old days in the yard. And the thing about the yard was, it learnt you put your goods out for sale in the morning. Well, if it was a good morning. If it started raining, everything came back in again.
Yes.
And you were dodging the rain as such. Yes. And with the old entry, you remember the entry going in?
The entry, yeah, there's
the gate, the old
and down the tunnel. It was like going down a tunnel.
There was no sign.
No, never.
There was nothing.
There was never a sign.
There was people came on the Thursday and left their shopping.
Jesus.
To get it collected that evening. But change times.
Change times. Did the Thursday market and the Saturday market, would they have coincided with a spike in trade?
Very much so.
Really? Those were good days?
Very much so. You would have found on a Thursday, I can remember a lot of people from Dundalk would have come down. They love coming to Newry Market. And the bus, if you can remember, the CIE bus, the Dundalk and Carlingford bus. It
stopped at the corner outside Curly's Pub.
Curly's Pub, yeah. So a lot of people would come down and meander into the yard, through the market, back up past Phillips's up Hill Street, over Monaghan Street, back round again. That was the loop.
And maybe on the second loop they would decide, having sort of nodded at you to begin with, they'd say that cabinet there. And the conversation would start.
I can remember one time a guy on a Honda 50 motorbike buying an old 4-foot bed.
Did he get it on the bike?
He put it on the bike.
On the Honda?
On the Honda. Well, he took off down Mary Street with like 2 wings.
But was it your father who sold the man the cat?
No, that was a funny story. That was Tommy Fitzpatrick.
Tommy Fitzpatrick.
That was Fitzpatrick's the
Pipers.
The Pipers, that connection, and the Roofers.
Yes.
But Tommy was a great friend, a long-time friend of my dad's, and Tommy's passed away, unfortunately. But there was a cat, the story goes, in the yard.
Meow.
And this lady has been in and out and in and out, and she kept admiring the cat. And who owns the cat or whatever? The cat was sold for £1.
John Donnelly and I, when we, God rest him, he's gone, you may or may not remember John.
Yeah.
We started the windsurfing centre in Warren Point.
Okay.
And we had our restaurant out the front. We had half a dozen tables on the sand outside the baths on the shore.
Right.
And we had tables, and I did the cooking inside. And we were sitting out one day, and we were having our feed. We weren't actually selling stuff. It was our own sort of play area.
Yes.
But a woman came, she said, "What's on the menu today?" And right away I said, "With the very finest, the very, very finest of salad with some fresh salmon," which we were cooking for ourselves. Sure, I went inside and loaded 2 plates with the stuff, brought them out for her and him, sat them down, and we got a £5 for each of them. So I was doing a bit of trading then as well. But the kind of furniture that you were dealing in is the important word, because you were buying as much as you were selling. And of course you had to buy to sell.
Years ago, we would have did majority of, it was goods, second-hand quality, and antiques. And then the antiques became more popular. And I can remember as like 8, 9, 10, running around the yard, and the truck would come in from England or thereabouts. My father would have a load of furniture on it, and as you were lifting it off the truck, my father would be selling it. You wouldn't get it on the ground, even in the yard. It'd be sold.
Yeah.
There'd be people waiting, and he nearly knew his clientele.
Yeah.
For instance,
you do as well. I bought 2 beds of you on a writing table.
Yeah.
I always say to this man when I go in, I'm about to enter the tunnel of temptation once again.
Great times. The truck would come in. It was excitement. What was coming off the truck? What's new? And there was always something different. Yeah. And that was the beauty about it. Them days, it was always new. And we tried to take that tradition right through. That always trying to look for that's something a little bit quirky. Get the quality right, and then get something different.
Different, absolutely. We'll talk about that in a moment, because I remember you've talked about the bus service to Dundalk and to Carlingford.
Yeah.
I remember as a very small boy looking with my mouth open of the furniture being carried up from your yard to the bus.
Right.
And the driver and the conductor were halfway up the ladder on the back of the bus, and they were lifting the furniture up onto the top of the bus, where there was a kind of a little platform surrounded by sort of 18-inch board, and that was the area that you stored the goods in. You don't remember that?
No, I can't remember that.
I remember that so well.
I do remember the story, though, of my dad. They used to do the fairs years ago. You'd cross McGlen for...
He would go out there as well.
Newton, Hamilton. But there was, like Ulster Bus had a transport lorry. They had no truck.
Yes.
So they would transport it out to the fairs. And funny, Dr. O'Hanlon's wife was in recently, who's passed away, he is, from Newton, Hamilton.
Yes.
I think it's Newton, Hamilton.
Yeah.
But they called in anyway, and she was telling me that years ago when my grandfather went to do the fairs, the furniture was left in their old garage for the next month's fair.
Yes.
So they wouldn't take it back to Newry, they would keep trading.
Keep trading there. Yeah. Was going out to the country, out to the rural market, was that not a botheration and a distraction from your real core of business that would have been Newry?
Probably it was to go out to get, probably years ago people hadn't the transport to come into Newry. So it was going out to find new customers. It's like today, people go to do fairs all over the world, like you go to do fairs in England, and it's the same principle, but it's clammed up now.
Could you have been anything other, or certainly you wouldn't have wanted to be, anything other than that which you became, a McCabe trading in furniture in Newry?
Probably not. I love what I do. I'd always a desire for playing bass guitar. They played in a few bands around Uri, and sure, I thought I was going to be a rock star and so on.
Wow.
And I can remember my dad saying to me one time, I was about 20 or 21, make your mind up what you want to be, Lily, a beetle or a bank clerk.
But
no, I love what I do, and I love the variety, and especially, I still love old furniture.
yes.
Although it's harder and harder to get, and we're 90% into all new product, all new furniture.
Yeah.
But I love what we do and the variety of it. And you're always hunting for something different and special, and you have to go further to get them things.
Well, I want you to hold that thought, because when we come back, we're going to talk about your world-wide travels in the search. Your passports are like a Littlewoods catalogue, if anyone can remember. Argos catalogue, the way they are these days. Remember there. If we're going to play you some more music, because you like that fellow. What's that fellow's name? Is it Steely? There's a fellow called Joe Walsh is the
Joe
fellow.
Walsh,
And
yeah.
he's... what was the one you mentioned to me? Life's been... What is it?
Well, life's been good.
Life's
so
been
far.
good. You like that?
Yeah,
one?
I like that one.
So
yeah.
your second choice of music is Joe Walsh. Life's been good.